it just to me it's crazy that Kendrick Lamar was about to battle Drake and J. Cole. Yo, Kendrick Lamar was about to battle Drake and J. Cole. Both of them. Yo, that would have been crazy. Alright, man, Torture Talk After Hours. So we gonna check in with Fantastic Hip Hop. You know what it is. So Drake career might be over, man. People hating that album. And J. Cole dropped a new song called Clouds. And how's that gonna interrupt everything? So make sure you like, share, subscribe, man. Let's get to it.
Now, with Drake's new album and the all-time low numbers it is pulling, one thing that is very clear is that beyond everything else you can say about why this project failed, is that a main reason why this album did a horrible job at bringing in anywhere near the amount of listeners that Drake has had in the past is because no other artist wanted to be on this thing and do what they have done for the last few Drake albums, which is ultimately make up for the boring performances he is bringing to the table by adding something interesting and new. And overall, as Drake is now grappling with the fact that his and OVO's name alone will only flop in the current music industry without any features and support, Drake has now realized that compared to where he used to be, the power of everything he holds is pretty much worth next to nothing. And currently, as Drake is still planning on doing more this year as he is going to try and avoid ever admitting he has fallen off, and because of this he is supposedly working on another project, when it comes to how Drake is going to try to make this album do better than the embarrassment we have seen with SSS for You, it's seemingly going to come down to the artist that Drake wants to put by his side, as he is going to try yet another time to save his career that is
y'all do know that before all the dogs, I believe it was Certified Lover Boy. And before that, most of Drake albums been stacked with features. Now that he has a chance to do something by himself, we want to see how it plays out. I think all his albums been stacked with features. But he said this time around, nobody's going to be on this album. It's just going to be him by himself. And I want to see how this works out for him. I'm very interested to see how he does the album by himself. And honestly, we'll see. Let's keep it going.
already been over. And at the very top of the list of artists that Drake wants to team up with is currently none other than J. Cole. And now as J. Cole is getting ready to go on another run leading up to his album The Fall Off, and Drake is still working on new music as well, currently Drake is trying to lock back in with Cole and get him to save his career. But now before we go any further into all of this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And even though this video is talking about a moment that may actually help Drake, his fans are still going to be mad because they don't want to believe that even he knows he is washed right now and that he is only going to ever get a win with another artist's support. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is more needed than ever. And so now with Drake,
I could see that. I could see Drake going to J. Cole for help. I could see that. And I could see J. Cole helping him. I could see J. Cole producing this whole joint. I could see that. I could see J. Cole probably even writing for him. I could see it. I really can. If J. Cole was to do something with Drake's next project, 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be a good project, and it will definitely help Drake's career. I'm telling you right now.
and J. Cole. Currently, when it comes to Cole, he has come back out for the first time this year with his new song Clouds, which really is showing that once and for all, that no matter how we feel about how he backed out of rap's greatest beef and how this ended any debate that was ever between him and Kendrick Lamar, unlike Drake, who just lost everything after he crumbled against Kendrick, Cole has managed to save his own career by just getting back to what both his audience wants and what hip-hop fans will always appreciate, which is some elite level rapping, because with this new song from Cole, Clouds, with the verses he delivers here, and especially with the second, he started off this new chapter in his career by delivering an early verse of the year contender, and now seemingly because Cole is starting to get some sort of wins and respect back, and again, Drake is of course losing more and more at the same time. Right now, when it comes to the current state of where Drake is at, we do know he is still working on more music, and while he is in hiding and on the other side of the world from the rest of the rap game and Kendrick Lamar, he is sitting back, and in between pathetic publicity stunts, he is trying to think of ways to get back into the center of hip-hop culture and try to save both his career on the charts and whatever is left of his legacy. And now
I believe that. I definitely believe that he's trying to save face at this point because, believe it or not, there's really nothing Drake could do with Kendrick. Only thing he can do is try to say that he's beating him through the numbers. There's really nothing he can do. He's not going to do anything with Kendrick. And the thing about Kendrick is he has his finger on the pulse right now. If Kendrick Lamar wants to drop an album right now, it's going to go crazy either way. Whatever Kendrick does, people are going to flock to it, bro. Because they looking at him as the greatest right now. And people got to understand, the fans looking at Kendrick as the best right now, the best ever right now. And everything he does is going to be analyzed to no other. And people love analyzing Kendrick's music. I think that's the reason why music has changed.
just as Drake has done for so long, he knows his only way to stay relevant and keep climbing up, especially in this time where he has no momentum by himself, is by linking up with another artist and having them supplement for every single thing he is missing. And right now, as J. Cole is about to go on the run that will lead up to an album that has been nearly a decade in the making with the fall off, and no matter how you feel about Cole, you can't deny that this is one of the most anticipated albums in all of music right now. Because of all this, Cole is gaining all the momentum he needs to cement himself in rap this year, as not the best because Kendrick Lamar ended that debate forever, but still is one of the defining MCs of our time. And now as Drake realizes this, and also the one thing that makes Cole way different from both him and Kendrick Lamar in the first place, is that J. Cole does not hold beefs or grudges or even want to engage in a back and forth, especially with someone who he is considered a friend. And as Cole literally made a song about this last year and pretty much invited Drake back to him with his song Port Antonio, Drake does see to him what is a weakness.
A lot of y'all, I disagree with certain things. I disagree with certain things when it comes to J. Cole. I'm sorry. I think that was such a bitch move that he did that, apologizing. I know a lot of y'all probably respect that. I don't respect that. I think that was a bitch move. And like I said, you can't say you the best until you beat the best. And you ain't gonna beat Kendrick. That's not gonna happen. I'll tell you right now. You could try to come with the most magnificent pen all you want, and you already know. He already washed you on a joint already, so can't play with that dude. But let's keep it going.
On Cole's end that he may be able to try and use, all in order to even be able to stand within a certain place in hip-hop right now that no other MC would ever allow a guy who brought paperwork into a rap beef to get near. And this is all just because Cole always wants to be the nice guy, and he never wants to take any real stance against another one of these artists. And so with Drake realizing that Cole may be the guy who may be able to save him once and for all, and despite how Drake may have felt when Cole backed out of the beef in the first place, if we remember, Drake did like the post when Cole released Port Antonio, which did show how he received this message, and as Drake speaks more directly through post than in his actual music at this point, I do think him doing something like this tells us everything we need to know. And on the other end of this, on J. Cole's side, is he just put both this new song Clouds and Port Antonio into his official musical canon by putting them on streaming services. We are seeing that despite whatever confusion came around when Cole released that song, he is sticking by every single thing he said in that record, and that he still wants to be on good terms with Drake. So overall, just recognizing the moment we are in and seeing where both sides stand. And most importantly, recognizing that Drake's career is in shambles, and he has realized from the lackluster performance of his collab album with Party Next Door that he is going to need to work with every single artist who is still down with him in order to just be able to get a fraction.
I mean, you're looking at the results of a single mother child right here. This is the result. Now, not all single mother children are like this, but for the most part, when you don't have a two parent in the house, you get a you 99% of the time. I would, you know what? I would say 80% of the time you get a guy like Drake. You get a guy like him. He's very much into himself. And I don't think, even with me saying J. Cole can come and do all these things, I still don't think that Drake will accept that. Because I think Drake, what he will do is, he wants it all for himself. You know what I'm saying? He want to do everything himself. And at this point, I just think this is a bad move, even if he do it for himself. Because nobody really wants to hear him. Like the girl said, he's played out. Drake's played out. And he don't know how to recover from it. He don't.
Of the hype and attention that he used to. When you look down the list of every single person that Drake could possibly feature on a new record, or that he can just work with in any capacity, whether that's on a feature himself or an appearance during a tour, both in terms of the performance they can deliver and the moment it would create to give him attention that he otherwise never could get right now. J. Cole is going to be the guy who has a chance to help him more than anybody else can, and especially when you consider how this beef all started, which of course that was because they made a song together. Drake and Cole still standing next to each other will at least unite and strengthen their own fan bases, which no matter how much of hip-hop has changed since Kendrick Lamar has just redefined what this genre even looks like in the first place, I mean, their fan bases are still big and they are looking for wins, so it's still something that is going to be worthwhile, although of course it will never give them that top spot back. And really knowing that J. Cole is just going to continue to be the nicest guy possible in the rap game, and that he has really told Drake more than Kendrick Lamar even that he will never turn on him and that he wants them to be on the best of terms they possibly can. Just as we saw with the way J. Cole...
Yeah, I don't see how J. Cole, like what Kendrick said. He did you foul. You don't know why you still pretending. Really don't know why you still pretending. Really don't.
Ended last year, which was with his Inevitable series and his 10-year anniversary show for Forest Hills Drive, which both of those moments he had planned for quite some time before this beef even started. And by telling the story of his career and performing his most iconic album, ultimately he was trying to highlight what got him to the point he has made it to now before the end of his career actually comes. Overall, what we can see already is that J. Cole's plans have not changed in reaction to all of the drama that he created when he backed out of the beef, and I mean, compared to Drake, who has done every single thing he has in reaction to his losses and how people changed their view on him and his career and the place he had in hip-hop really after he lost to Kendrick. In contrast, Cole sticking in his ground and current plans has put him in a place where while he dropped down a few spots in the rap power rankings because last year not just did Kendrick but multiple other rappers have way better years than he did, he's still in a perfect position to have success and perform up to his usual standards, which is of course something that Drake does not have, as his album saw...
I mean, I give J. Cole a lot of shit, but he hasn't fallen except for Grippy. Grippy was terrible. That was terrible. But outside of that, he hasn't fallen. Like I said, he's still good at what he does, but he hasn't fallen. But Grippy was terrible. I don't know what he was thinking when he released that. That was trash. Like, really trash.
A near 50% decrease in performance from his last in every single category possible. But now with Cole sticking to his plans and keeping his current vision intact, what we also know is that when it comes to Drake and Cole's relationship, unless Drake has told Cole otherwise and won't let him put his feature out, Drake did record a verse for The Fall Off already, and he is supposed to be featured on that album, as this was a conversation that the two had on stage when they were both touring. And of course, as this duo was doing so many shows together and they made two songs that we already heard, it is clear that Drake and Cole were working closely before this beef, which of course started everything, and considering how Cole is just getting back to his plans and Drake is desperate for a win, and also this is very important, but Drake also knows that he could never compete with Cole at this point because he has lost so much, and the only way he can even benefit from him is by linking back up with him. And overall, understanding the past these two have had and where they can go forward, While it's clear that Drake is not going to be returning to where Cole seemingly is around and where the rest of the big names in rap have been, because he's really going to stay as far away from Kendrick Lamar and everything going on around him as possible, we are going to find out that in some shape or form, Drake and Cole have been in contact, and eventually we are going to see that these two release more music together, all because no matter what happened when they were beefing with Kendrick Lamar and how the two respectively fared in that. Between J. Cole's momentum and mentality, which has led him to not wanting to beef with people who he has ever considered his friend, to Drake's desperate mentality, which is now making him start to recruit features who can try to benefit his future work and ultimately become a stronger name in the hip-hop playing field again. Overall,
It just, to me, it's crazy that Kendrick Lamar was about to battle Drake and J. Cole. Yo, Kendrick Lamar was about to battle Drake and J. Cole. Both of them. Yo, that would have been crazy. He was really about to battle Drake and J. Cole. Bro. that dude Kendrick different, bro. He built different.
everything is leading to the point where Drake and Cole are going to team back up very soon, and when this happens, it's going to be very interesting to see just how much momentum J. Cole has, and if that can actually make a difference when it comes to Drake getting any sort of positive attention at this point. And I mean, when this all goes down, and again, we are seeing Drake do anything to come back, and Cole is trying to exit out of the rap game without getting into any more beef, it's going to be very interesting to see if anything comes from this team up and how Kendrick Lamar may handle it. But at this point, as that beef is over and Kendrick Lamar has proved every single thing that he ever needed to and more, as ultimately, when we put this thing into perspective, he made their words his reality, as he was the one who became bigger than the Super Bowl at the end of it all. At this point, Drake and...
Damn, and that's big as the what? And this dude, Kendrick, does the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Cole coming together after everything that has happened, especially for Drake, is going to highlight that his loss has taken him so far that it is literally making him now repeat the different ways he has failed and ruined everything. And really, no matter how great J. Cole may be and how much of a comeback he makes, with everything Drake is doing and how much he is failing, I don't think chasing Cole like this is going to really help him at all. And so now with all of this said, let me know.
Yeah, man. That was a pretty good one. Like I said, man, at this point, J. Cole helping Drake would probably be Drake's best bet. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe J. Cole could sit Drake down and have a conversation with him. Somebody needs to sit him down and talk to him. Because whoever he got around him, they not really helping him out. Sit him down and talk to him like, look, man, I'm gonna tell you what it really is. You gotta stop talking about Kendrick Lamar. Sorry, man, it's late and I'm tired. And I'm just gonna do this last video and I'm going to bed. I gotta get up early, go to the gym. But yeah, man, I definitely think that that if J. Cole was to help Drake do a rap album, it probably would be good. But he would need somebody to lead, like, tell him, because I don't know. I think he needs a different direction, because right now it's just what he's doing ain't working, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. But thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have yourself a good night. See y'all. Peace. Bye.